Hey everyone, I'm Mary Kwiatkowski and I'm back. It's the finale, and we are here with my wonderful co host, Sasha, to talk about the 10th episode of Destination X, the grand finale. Sasha, can you believe it?
Oh my gosh, one last time. We're here. This was fun. I enjoyed what was given and I just what a fun ride it's been with you, Mary. Like you're amazing. And I'm so glad we got to
Oh.
podcast together.
It has. It's been so fun. We're both here in our green sweatshirts to pull
Yes.
together. I'm wearing an Ireland sweatshirt, despite the fact
Oh,
that
I
we
love
never went
that.
to Ireland. I was hoping we would, and this is all I had. So
Hey, you still won, so it's
I
fine.
did. I did. It took us the entire season of guessing where they'd go next for
Yes.
me to get even one right. I think Sasha got the first one right that we had guessed, and I got the last one.
Oh my god. I think max I maybe got 2 in all, but even
Yeah,
then, nothing. Like,
it
oh
was
my
great.
gosh.
Yeah, so here we are at the end. And of course, if you need to find any of the rest of our Destination X coverage, maybe you've listened to the podcast, but you wanted to watch the videos or
Yep.
whatever, make sure you go to weknowdestinationx.com and you can check us out on the RHAP YouTube channel as well. Also, if for some reason you've listened to all these podcasts, but you never checked out the YouTube channel, you definitely should because we've got all of our exit interviews there as well. And we have all three exit interviews with the first, second, and third place finishers coming out as well. Very exciting. I can already tell you at this point when we're recording this, I've recorded two of them and we've got one more to go. And there's some interesting stuff there, uh, some great insights about the finale and about other things that maybe we didn't get to see throughout the show. So if you followed along the whole time, definitely check out those exit interviews for some more information. Also, everyone, if you liked this coverage that we had, make sure you go ahead and give us a 5-star rating and review. It really helps me and Sasha to get more work
Mhm. Tell the
here at
boss
Rebels Podcast.
man you like this.
Tell them you liked us. Tell them you liked all the work we put in. And,
Yes.
who knows? Maybe there'll be another season of Destination X and we'll get to cover it again.
Mhm. Yeah, is this coming back? Great question.
Who knows? Who could know? I gotta say, I feel like, let's just say right here at the top, some things that I really liked about Destination X.
Mhm.
I really liked the host. I thought Jeffrey did a wonderful time. It was great. You put a
Yeah.
Jeff as a host of a show, it's probably gonna go pretty good. I feel like he added like a level of excitement and then kind of like classiness to
Yes.
the show
Correct.
that I think was pretty cool. I know definitely like in the finale when he's walking out there and he's got the two like
Oh,
bodyguards with the cases, like, what is this, Dondi?
I know. I said, "Okay, yes, you look good."
Yeah.
Yeah, this
So
can't be his, like, last hosting. Like, I
yeah.
need more.
Yeah, I really liked that. I feel like the play along with the show part was really fun. And I think that was
Yes.
part of what made it really fun for me. I know, obviously, we did not do a great job of like guessing where they'd go next, but we did guess quite a lot of the destinations along the way throughout the
Mhm.
episodes. So I'm going to give ourselves a little pat on the back for that. And I think another thing that cannot go without talking about is the cast in general. I think did a really good job with casting. I think that everyone was very clearly there to play. We got some showmance stuff that we didn't necessarily think we would get. We've gotten a relationship out of the show, and then I think we had a really cool mix of people from all walks of life. So, um,
Yeah.
love that. Feel like give us more of that kind of casting in different places.
Exactly, and this is why I will always enjoy, like, the first season of any new reality show because it's always the most unhinged.
Mhm.
Like, I personally really enjoyed Rick. Or, like, I don't
Mhm.
care what anyone says, like, we're not coming on these shows to become, like, best friends with everyone. That's boring TV. I don't care to watch. I'm not watching, like, best friends forever, right? Like the whole point is you shouldn't share all your information
Mhm.
with the person so that you can get farther in the game. So for all like I am number one Rick truther, I feel like I should say, because again, I enjoy like people that are crazy on TV. Like Kim, right? Another one who I'm just like, yeah, we like cast older controversial people it's just more fun.
Yeah, and I think for the last several episodes, probably at least halfway through the show, we kind of had pegged like, okay, Rick or Biggie, like they're both doing
Mm-hmm.
really well. We think Peter's going to last a while, obviously, because he's in that alliance with Rick and he's playing pretty hard. But I think we both thought like Biggie's social game was pretty unmatched on the show. The fact that he was safe, okay, I didn't do this ahead of time. I wish I had of lists of how many people, like who went to the map rooms the most times and which
Yep.
people were safe from the map room, because I think I'd have to go back and check, but I think Biggie was probably one of the safest people in the game.
Yeah.
Um, so I think that obviously speaks a lot towards his game. And then, like you said about Rick, like was there to play, clearly did a really good job masking to most people how much he was there to play
That was
throughout the
crazy.
game, which is
Yes.
really, really impressive. And then, just really clearly like knew his stuff when it came down to these destinations. So, all right, we can just go ahead and say it up front. So Rick being the winner, how do we feel about that
Yes.
overall?
We called it,
We did.
and thank goodness we were right, because
I had to be right about something.
oh my God, right? No, it's just, again, it's just the way the edit was, the way like Rick was, and I mean this positively, correctly moving, like all of this. It was just really exciting, and I'm happy. I think Rick deserved to win. Maybe I'm being a little bit mean, but I feel like if Peter would have won, maybe I'm being hypocritical, because if it would have been Janae, I would have been okay. But Peter coming in late and like winning it all would have been interesting. But like
Mhm.
as in, I would have been like, oh, I think an OG deserved to win. But outside of that, I think it was a really fun winner, and I think he deserves it.
Yeah, it's interesting when it comes to Peter and Janae. Like I talked a little bit with Peter about this, but his, you'd think on the surface level, oh, he's got an advantage coming in late because he gets to skip a couple rounds, right? Doesn't have
Yep.
to worry about that. The disadvantage, obviously, is that thought by most of the other players of, oh, I don't want these people to win who haven't been here the whole time. And not only
Mm-hmm.
that, but just not being able to make all of the connections that everyone else has, any alliances that are already formed, any relationships that are already formed. It's harder to get into that. It was very mutually beneficial between him and Rick to pair up, because Rick didn't really have an alliance, didn't really have a whole lot of people to work with at that point.
Yep.
I also spoke with Biggie already, and Biggie said that he had a pretty strong relationship with Rick from the beginning. Not an alliance, but a decent friendship, but that he was pretty much the only person who had a pretty good lasting relationship with Rick throughout the season. So
Yeah.
yeah, that was definitely beneficial toward the two of them. But yeah, it's interesting because I think I could totally see where Peter and Janae would be annoyed, like, oh, why couldn't you have just started me from the beginning? Especially because they started Josh from the beginning. So
Mm-hmm. That's what I'm
poor
saying.
Josh.
It's just I'm like very interested to know why they did that, but it is what it is. And big week, unfortunately, for Janae. So here we are. But
Yeah.
it's just, I don't know. I really overall enjoyed it. I think the travel aspect like is still the best part of this show. And I enjoyed the big twist of the
Mhm.
finale where you have to kind of navigate yourself. It felt a little bit like YouTuber-y.
Hmm.
I will say, right, like a show that Taryn and I cover, Jet Lag, or even like a few British YouTubers. I feel like
Mhm.
do the like, oh, where are we going? Let's like, play like a roulette and blah blah blah, stuff like that. So I don't know. That part was just funny, but I say that to say I still enjoyed it. I like the twist. So yeah, it's just I loved this whole package. I don't know.
Yeah. And I would say the very, very end of the show is a big reason to listen to the exit interviews, because there was a lot we didn't see when it came down to the finale, like guessing of the final destination.
Okay, maybe again I'm jumping, but whatever. It's a finale pod. It was so obvious Rick won. I mean, like
Yes.
when Rick was in
Yes.
Big Ben, I was like, yeah, why would they pay for that if that wasn't the clue? That's all I mean.
Yes. So we open here at the finale and they're on a helicopter over London. I think we had always kind of wondered, like, what are they going to do if they're going to go to the UK in terms of
Right.
hiding how they got there? And I think by going there at the finale and saying, hey, we are going to instantly show them where we are, this is going to mean that we can kind of like it's fine. We're in London. They're all going to know it. It doesn't matter because the actual
Mhm.
Destination X is going to be a specific iconic location, and
Yes.
that's what they need to do. I think this is funny because we've watched this whole show.
Yeah.
By the time we got to this finale, I think I finally understood the way these clues work. I know. It's like I've been watching the whole show. And I
Wait,
think
say more, please.
what I finally got, because
Okay.
so much of this has been like we've been saying, hey, like most episodes they'll get off somewhere and it'll be 50
Yes.
miles from the destination or whatever. And I'm getting too hung up with the fact that the clues at that point are pointing. I was like, but we're 50 miles away. How is that going to be a clue? It's not
Mm.
about the place they're at. It's about the clues at the place they're at. Look,
Correct.
okay, and I didn't explain that very well, but like when they were doing the horseback ride at remember we got really in our heads about shooting spaghetti westerns, right?
Yes, 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 yes.
And I was so hung up on what about these clues to do with spaghetti westerns, to do with you know, Wizard of Oz. Like, what does
Mhm.
this have to do with this mountainous location they're in? And the answer is it doesn't have to do with the mountainous location they're in. It has to do with the destination of that season
Yes.
or of that episode. Which I don't know why that like took me a long time to just like completely connect in my brain. I guess I was a little bit like in the first episode when they're in Volterra at the first episode or see near Volterra. I'm like, how is this supposed to point to Rome? Well, Volterra is not supposed to point to
Yeah,
Rome.
that just
The
tells us
clues
Italy.
at Volterra, right? Yes. So
Yeah.
it was just supposed to tell us Italy and then whatever. We also didn't know until the very end that there were clues hidden throughout this whole season that are
Oh,
going to
that
point to
was
the final
crazy.
destination.
Yep.
I did notice like there's a lot of clocks. I
I
did clock that.
never noticed it until Rick said it. No way.
Because
That
I
was so
remember
good.
when I was really hung up on the melted clocks in the desert. And I was like, what are we
Oh,
doing? What do
fair.
these have to do with because wasn't that when we were in the Netherlands or
Yep.
something? Yeah, I was like, what are we doing? So anyway, it's all making more sense now. I feel like now, look, first season, it's a learning season. It's a learning season for me
Mhm.
too. So yeah. But we start off in the helicopter and then we're gonna go to Greenwich to the Old Royal Naval College. And we are going to play a little game here with the final three. What did you think about this final trivia game to narrow it down to the final two?
It was so I watched it with my family and because I just wanted like to get like casual reactions
Mhm.
and they were like very into it. Like they were
Okay.
because they could play along and they actually knew the answers. So my husband was like, "Oh, like in that was like our Jeopardy, you know how
Yeah,
like in
yeah.
Jeopardy, if you get the right answer, even one, you're just like, I'm the genius. Like you can't even
Yes.
tell me nothing. Like that's how we were all feeling. But I think I knew almost every single answer, if
Wow.
not every. Like I think I missed maybe one.
I think I know a lot of them. Let's see. Okay. What city is Romeo and Juliet set in? Verona. Knew that one. That's
Yeah,
like
that
the
one I knew.
opening
Yes.
line of Romeo and Juliet. We got that one. I did not know the second question. Italian, French, gosh, Italian, French, and German are the most commonly spoken language in what country? That one I
Yeah,
did not
I
know.
did know that. Just
Okay,
because I've been to Switzerland last year. So
gotcha. What European city translates into English as monk?
yeah,
Look,
that
it's
one that's the one that I was, like, not sure about.
it's been established that we don't know anything about Munich. That
Yeah.
has been heavily
Yeah.
established on this show. But now I know. And so I will tell
Mhm.
my friend who's moving to Munich, I will tell her that. Did you know that it translates to monk? Very
Oh my
useful.
god.
True or
We
false,
just
more
know the
bicycles.
the beer now
Yes, yeah,
at
that
Oktoberfest.
Oktoberfest is there. True or false, more bicycles than people in Amsterdam?
Yeah,
That
I
one I
knew that.
knew.
Yes.
True. In the forest of Germany, who were the fairy tales written by? Grimm brothers. We knew that
Yeah.
one. Rick being a little fancy writing the Brothers Grimm.
I
Yeah,
was
yeah,
like,
we
"Rick, you
know.
should" no. No, you're being sweaty. You're trying too hard.
Which European city is known as the City of Light? This is one of the only ones that I think Rick got wrong.
Yeah.
But
And
yeah,
the fact that Rick and Peter said the same thing was very weird.
I don't think I would have ever guessed Athens.
No.
I'm
Here's
not sure why they guessed that.
Here's the thing, because in Venice, when they had to pick the tarot cards or whatever, I think like Athens was the Acropolis was on there, right? So I
Yeah.
wonder if that's why their mind went there.
They were just thinking about, like, what are some places that we haven't been to
Yes.
that were mentioned? Yeah, that's true. But they
That's the
also
only
mentioned,
thing I
like,
can think of.
Ireland, but, like, not that that would be the City of Lights. I
Yeah.
think I think I might have guessed Paris just by thinking of, like, what are some big cities, what have a lot of nightlife, like, that kind of thing. But,
Mhm.
yeah, I don't know. I definitely did not know that one. And then, let's see, this room has been called UK Sistine Chapel. Which country is the Sistine Chapel actually in? That one I did know.
Yeah, me
Vatican
too.
City. Peter, close with the whole Italy thing. Trick question. Nice try. Close but no cigar.
And then again, Rick being like, "Oh, depends on what map you see. The
Yeah, he, like,
Holy
wrote, like,
See."
I don't remember what the other
My
thing
guy.
was.
The Holy See.
The Holy
Like,
See, right.
girl. Rick,
Yeah.
killing me, killing me.
And this was kind of a, like, news school survivor auction where they were like, "It's gonna
Yes.
end at some time. Y'all don't know when it is." When so a lot of people would say, and I am one of them, of what is this decision that Biggie makes at the end to pull Peter back even with him, as opposed to moving himself forward where he would be one ahead of Peter. Because if he had done that, because it was the final question, he would have made the finale. And it would not have gone to
I
a
think I would
tiebreaker.
have moved Peter back.
Well, and the reason Biggie did, we talked about this
Yes.
more in our exit interview, but you can listen to it, is he didn't know it was the final question. And so his
Exactly.
process was, let me take advantage of this time so that if this is not the final question and then Rick gets the next one right and we don't, we're both still even, as opposed to me getting pulled back again.
Exactly.
I'm not sure logically that I still would have made that decision, but that's where he came from. So throughout this whole challenge, you can make the decision either to move yourself forward or move anyone else back. I don't think, and I'm trying to remember, I don't think Rick ever moves back.
No.
Yeah, I think Rick is just at the front the whole time. He gets
Mhm.
all but one question right, and at least that we saw. And meanwhile, Biggie and Peter just continually move each other back, and then Rick moves Biggie back, except for the one time where he had to move Peter back because he had to make a move.
Yep.
So I like that you had the decision there to do both. I did wonder at first, I was like, why would you ever move someone back as opposed to moving yourself forward? But I guess if you can't move yourself forward, you would have to. Um, and also the fact that sometimes it was one space, sometimes it was two space, sometimes it was three spaces. It becomes pretty obvious pretty quickly to Biggie that Peter and Rick are working together.
Which is crazy because we talked to Shane, right, last week, and
Mhm.
Shane was like, "No, I knew that they're working together and Biggie didn't." And I was like, "Oh, maybe like there's no way it's so obvious, blah blah blah." Boy, that what a crazy drop that was for Biggie.
Yeah, and I feel bad for Biggie because like we had mentioned this before with Allie when it came down to Allie's exit. If you have two against one, it is very, very difficult to come out of that
Mhm.
um in the lead. Like I know Biggie's gonna almost do it, but a little bit more of a technicality in that place
That's what I
because
was
of
gonna say. Like you physically, he couldn't go back anymore. He,
right.
as JDM said, or you'll be in the men's room.
Exactly. So yeah, that obviously factored into it a bit. I think but how do we feel about this just being a trivia question or trivia challenge as a reason why someone would go home? I mean, I guess that's kind of the same with Allie and kind of
Yeah, and I think this was reminding me very much like Amazing Race, like, the final
mhm.
puzzle where you kind of have to be like, where all have you been? Oh, we now have to like put that all together. So I was okay with this over the Venice one because I think this felt a little bit more like, no, this is a culmination of all the work you've done, which is why Jeffrey was like mad, right? When they were like, what do you mean you Athens? When did we forget you're naming countries we haven't even been at? So
Yeah.
I don't know. It felt like they were very like, no, this is like all the places we've been. Let's chat.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess that's true. It did have to do some memory. I almost would have liked, I know they can't take everything from Amazing Race, but I almost would have preferred some sort of thing that was directly pointing to the 9 other locations they had already been to,
Mhm.
or even more than that if you consider all of the like stops along the way. Um, More of like a, whether it be a memory kind of challenge or um something to do with like how many miles were traveled, or I don't know,
Right.
something like that. Now the question we do end up getting in the tiebreaker was something that at least they had mentioned on the show to us many times. How did you feel about that? Fine.
Yeah, okay, I didn't remember the answer. I'll say that. But the show's love affair with Venice is crazy. And my question is, they've been walking around Venice. They've been doing, right, like all this stuff in Venice. Don't you feel like that's something you would want to know?
Peter has no excuse for saying 27 islands. Unless he was just confused about like what the definition of an island was
Right.
here, because I think the way they're considering it is if there is a canal that goes all the way around like a block of buildings, then that's an island,
Which
right?
is crazy, but yeah.
Yeah, but I think that is technically what they're going with. So,
I think
yeah,
I would have
Venice,
said 100.
yeah, at least like I don't know. I think if anything, I might have overshot it, but yeah, I guessed the number I wrote down as a guess was 140. So I would have won
I
had
wrote
we done that.
100.
Yeah,
Yeah, but it's just like crazy where I was like, I just again, this is my amazing race like brain, but in the amazing race like that you're supposed to write when you're on the plane, you're supposed to write down, right? Like all the facts
right.
from the place you're going to. You're supposed to ask the air hostess, or you're supposed to ask like the steward, whatever, all of them, like all these questions you're supposed to look up, like fun facts about the place you're going to, whatever. Like that's like the quote unquote downtime, like education. So that's what I felt like maybe I would have done in Venice. I don't know.
I would have hoped so because they had all that time in Venice.
Mhm.
I mean, if Shane had made it to the end, I would have been like, well, maybe at least he was just, hanging out with Allie, so he didn't have the
Yeah.
time to do this. But and we don't know how much resources they had, whether or not it was very, very strict of whether or not they would just like go to this place, go to that place. Like they didn't get a lot of time to look around or take these facts. But in retrospect, knowing how much that they were going to use Venice as an important destination probably would have been good to know that.
Yep.
But yeah, out of the 118 islands, Biggie guessed 210 and Peter guessed 27. When I heard those guesses and I did really quick math, I actually thought Biggie had won, but it was one difference. Peter was 91 away and Biggie was 92 away.
Oh, that was painful. It was painful.
It was painful and I understood Biggie being so upset just that it ended in the way that it
He's like,
did.
they couldn't make one more canal for me.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
Like
exactly what I would have said, by the
yeah, it was rough. And
way. Oof.
I felt for Biggie. I think it's hard because if Rick and Peter really do have like such a secret alliance, I'm not sure there's a whole lot of blame you can give to Biggie in terms of, well, like how did you not know of their secret alliance? But the fact that Biggie and Shane had such a obvious alliance
Yeah.
meant that it was a lot easier to target them. And that Biggie couldn't even really blame Rick and Peter for targeting his alliance with Shane because it's so obvious. So I think the lesson to be learned here is have good relationships with lots of people, but if you're going to have a really obvious relationship, have a secret alliance as well
Yep.
because that's going to help you more in this game.
Oof. Wow. That was wild. And I think again, social game, like, and a lot social game with the right smart people
Mhm.
is the way to go.
Yeah, for
'Cause I
sure.
think Peter was at a big, big, advantage here compared to Biggie because Peter had someone smart, like, on his side.
Yes. Right. Yes, and so that was another thing I talked to Biggie about was, like, why pair up with Shane, especially when Biggie himself had never traveled outside of the US, and so kind of you would think need that sort of pair. I think Biggie thought that there would be a lot more physical competitions than there actually were. So,
Bless him.
you know
It's
what?
not the
Yeah.
challenge, Biggie.
Yes, but if it was, having Shane on your side would have really helped. Yeah.
That's true.
What did you think of the oil paintings of the other contestants in the hall?
Send us one each.
Oh my
I
gosh, yes, that would be
I
so
need
great.
it. I'll
I
put it
wonder
behind.
yeah, I wonder if they were, if I guess they probably had one of each of Rick, Biggie,
Yep.
and Peter because they, like, when they unveiled the one of Peter.
I
That
mean,
was
if you knew the game, you know that it's most likely gonna be Biggie.
that's true, that's true. Yeah, if you knew
No, but
the
I'm sure they had one of each. It's
countess.
just I love the oil painting. I thought they were really cute.
Yeah, I love the little hall. I wish we had more time to look at those because I really like them.
Mhm.
So then we move on to the final two. We've got Peter and Rick left, which I think we kind of predicted. We had gone back and forth of who we thought would get in second or third, and we think it kind of depended on what the challenge was. As it turned out,
Exactly.
it was super close.
Yep.
So, that's what it was. Um, this is when, yeah, we got two guys who come out with the briefcases. One apparently is full of money, and then the other one is not. And the one with the money is going to be on its way to Destination X. The other one's empty. Now, we never really get an answer to the question of what would have happened if they had both guessed correctly.
Exactly. I had so many questions. Or what if they both guessed wrong? No one wins?
My assumption would be if they both guessed right, they would just say, okay, we're going to do a do over. We're going to move it again. We're going to give you new clues. We're going to do a new destination. That's my guess, just because the fact of when they guessed it, unless they said you're going to split it. That's the only other thought that I could have is if they're both right.
Mhm.
Um, so what they end up getting is that they both have, now this is a little confusing to me. They have two envelopes that have clues in them. And like in the first case, it was one said Rome, money is power, and the other one said Geneva, fire and ice. And they both end up choosing the Rome, money is power one. Do you think that they would have gotten this? Like, do you think the same riddle was in each of them, or like how did this work? Why did we have a
Yeah,
choice?
I'm just gonna think that they had from what they showed to us, right? They were how many yeah, they were like X amount of riddles. So I'm just assuming X times 2 is how many people were there. So Rick had two options to go to, and I think both of those options would have had the hourglass, the $100 bill, or
Okay,
that's what I would think.
because the first one we get, they both choose, yeah, the Rome envelope, and then the riddle says, a well full of coins and a trip to a tower. In Italy, you exchange knowledge for power. Here, pounds saved can buy all that you name. There's a life changing deposit to be won in my game. And so they head to a landmark and they both think that it's the Bank of England. So then they get
Which,
there.
like, duh. Yeah.
Yeah. So they both get there and then they get two new clues, Amsterdam or Paris. And at this point, Peter opens the Amsterdam envelope and Rick is going to open the
Mhm.
Paris one. But like, I guess what I'm saying is, I don't know that they would have ended up getting any different clues based on, like, they both had to go to different locations. Like, Peter's
No,
going to,
because I think because Peter took them to the Shard, and
yeah,
then Rick was obviously Piccadilly Circus, but I
yes.
but I think the actual clue was the same, if that makes
Okay.
sense.
Like the
Like, I think they
picture that
both
they
probably
got.
had the hourglass.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah. So they just had to, and it was a little hard to tell whether or not, I guess at this point they are actually going to those locations.
Yes,
Okay. So they're going to those locations.
because I
And
think
yeah,
Peter went to the Shard. Now I can't, but I just you don't have to go, like, inside, but I
it
think,
seems like
yeah.
at some point they were just sitting in the cars and the people would like come over and hand them in the car window. Maybe
Probably
because it was
because
like
it's
hard to park.
hard.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
celebrated my birthday, my 26th, 27th, something like that, birthday at the Shard, actually. And, it's like it's like crazy to get
What
in.
is the Shard? Like what?
It's a building. It's just like a really tall.
But like, why'd you
It
go
has a
there for your
bar in there.
birthday?
That's where I
Okay.
was. But
Were you just like, I really want to go to the Shard?
yeah, because I swear it had like just opened up or something when I was there. But
Okay.
maybe I'm making
So
that
it's
up.
just a fancy building. Could you
Yeah,
like go
and
up
like I've
high in
always
it?
just wanted to go to London. Like that was just on my list of places to
Yeah.
visit. So I went to London and Rome that trip. But yeah, so I was like, oh, it's my birthday. So I went and watched a play, and then we went to the Shard.
Interesting. I've been to London. I've never heard of the Shard. So,
Yeah. It's just like a really pretty view, but like, yeah.
maybe
I
it
don't know.
wasn't open when I was there. I was there in 2019. When did it
No,
open?
it was open. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
Because I went before that.
Gotcha. Yeah, interesting. So, yeah, they both get their clues. They're going to we do one more round. So Peter opens the Monaco card,
Mhm.
and then Rick is going to open the Salzburg one. I feel like Rick's clues were easier. Maybe it's just ones that I knew. Like he
I
ends up
knew the
guessing.
Shard. Yeah, that's what I actually.
Okay, so you knew the Shard one.
Piccadilly took me a second. And the Shard opened in 2013.
Oh, wow,
I
okay,
don't remember
gotcha.
that.
I think
But
the
I don't.
reason.
Yeah, Piccadilly. Like my husband, like so quickly was like, "Oh, that's Piccadilly Circus." I was like, "Oh, duh,
Yeah,
good
because they say
job."
like carnival, swinging.
Yeah,
Yeah. And then also apparently there's like a statue of a
the Cube. Oh well, Cupid's brother,
yeah,
the hater.
Antros, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then so then the Monaco clue points to Tower Bridge and the Salzburg clue points to Baker Street, which that one was really
Mm-hmm.
easy. I mean, they're like
Huh.
elementary. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
Mostly
it's
because
elementary Sherlock. That I did not know.
okay, I did, but also like when I went to London in 2019, I was like, gotta go to Baker Street.
Oh,
Got
okay,
and I
fair.
also like didn't really care that much. I mostly just like wanted to get close enough to where I could see like a street sign that said Baker Street. And I'm like, good enough. Like
That's really funny.
I'm not gonna walk up to
Oh
the
my
door or
gosh.
whatever what is it, like 22B? I don't know. Is that what it is?
That's
22B Baker
so
Street?
funny.
Um, it's something like that. 221B? Whatever it is.
Yeah, I was like, I'm not. Like, I love it, but I don't know it.
Yeah. And then this is when they have to guess in the map room, which I think they're just in the cars still when they like have to. I don't know if
Mhm.
they go back to the bus where they have to pick their final destination clue. And Peter, if you want to know why does Peter pick the Tower of London, listen to the exit interview. No, I mean I can tell you. So basically, Peter was not sure about the $100 bill. He mostly was thinking about more of the Queen Elizabeth angle.
Mhm.
And when it came to the hourglass, he was thinking like more like, where does Queen Elizabeth spend her time? Like thinking about that. So that was like how he got like the $100 bills, spending time, hourglass.
Can I just
Yeah.
say, in my mind, and I have my family convinced that it was Buckingham Palace. $100? Oh.
Yes.
And then obviously the Queen, which I'm like, oh my God, but the Queen doesn't exist. And then for the hourglass, I was like, yeah, because the like changing of the guard, like that's a thing that you like go at a certain time to do.
I
But then
think
when
the
Rick
problem is,
said it, I said, oh, yeah.
well, the $100 bill and the hourglass, I totally get how that points to Big Ben. I don't I don't know the Queen Elizabeth
So it's the
connection.
Elizabeth Tower.
See, that I didn't know.
Yeah, and I knew I was wrong when Rick was zeroing in on Big Ben. It said Elizabeth Tower. Like I saw that on the
Gotcha.
picture. So I was like, oh, Rick is correct.
Yeah. And that's when they go. The way that we see it is that they are placed in their location and then they're going to take the goggles off and they're going to see the little
Mhm.
case and open it up.
I wonder after Buckingham if I would have picked Big Ben.
I don't know.
I
know.
don't know either. I
I
have
think you
no
start to
idea.
second guess yourself too because it was the same clues. Like it's not like they got new clues. This
Right.
is why I think that if they had both gotten it right, that they might have just maybe they had different clues for a different backup location or something because
Maybe.
maybe they would have done that or they would have split the money. I don't know. So Sasha, how do you feel about the fact that we did not go to Spain?
Oh my gosh, it's fine. It's fine because someone in our comments actually pointed out that yeah, it's an actual X that they made, I believe.
Yeah, sort of.
So
So let me
it
I
makes
can show
sense. I
you.
understand. Oh no, that is
It's not exactly
a
and
little
well,
bit.
it was like a big circle around, but it definitely was a I don't know. It was
No.
an interesting path that we took here.
What is that
Going
shape?
from Rome to Geneva to Paris to Amsterdam to Munich to why can I not see? Salzburg, Venice,
Mhm.
Venice again,
Salzburg was so
Monaco,
random, by the way.
up to London. Yeah. Look, this was interesting. There's a lot of other places I feel like we could go.
Yep.
You know, we could have gone to like the west side of France. I don't know what's over
This is
there.
just so funny. No, I don't know that yeah. This makes sense. Now that it's like here, it makes sense to me, but it's very funny. For season 2 then, I think we have a lot of space.
Well, yeah, because you could go
The whole other side
the
of
whole other
Europe.
side of Europe
Yeah.
that we didn't hit, you know. I wanted
Plus
them to go to
Spain.
Poland,
Oh
you
my god.
know. I'm Polish. I would love to see. I've never been to Poland. It would have been
I
cool.
have. I mean, granted, I went on a Holocaust tour, so that's my only like
Yeah.
understanding of Poland. So my apologies to Poland. So I've
Yeah.
only been to like Warsaw and Treblinka.
It's
All
bigger
these
than I thought it was now that I'm looking at a map. Well, it's
mhm.
well established that my geography is not the best.
I
So,
mean, same.
but yeah, we could have gone to Spain. I don't know. What was your favorite location we went to on this journey?
Oh, I think I really enjoy I wish we got more of Monaco. Rome is always great. But yeah, I think my most favorite like we got to spend even though I like shit on that Venice episode so much, like at least we got to see Venice a lot. So Venice and London just because we got to see it more. What about you?
Yeah. Yeah, I think I enjoyed the time that we were in um Salzburg. I think we did some really interesting things there. Actually, I also
Fair.
really liked the Geneva stop.
Yeah.
Because I think also at that point in the show, we weren't 100% sure that they were going to be doing like really big cities. So, I think that's another thing that they totally could do in the future would be
Mhm.
smaller cities. I stand by that the US version would also be kind of
Oh
interesting.
my god, Mary's gonna sign up for it, I'm telling you,
It'd be so
and
funny.
I
I would be
will
really
not.
good at knowing the states. Um, okay, something else I want to do here is let's just kind of go through some of the people's games. So Biggie here, third place finisher. Overall, how would you rate his game?
No, I think I'm high on Biggie. I think I would give him an 8 because
Mhm.
or maybe 7, sorry, because I think that blind spot was huge and it really cost him um a lot. Unfortunately, right? Like it cost him the whole game. So unfortunately, I think he was a little lost there. But outside of that, I enjoy I think he had all the right like his hands were in many pots. He was in the middle, until Allie and Shane went. I think he was in a great spot to be kind of the quote unquote swing vote. He unfortunately got out the right people at the right time. He gave us drama with giving Ty, right, the wrong clue. So I just feel like we got a lot. We got a lot.
Yeah. I do think we got a lot and I think that it can't be understated how great his social game was.
Yes,
So, I
exactly.
feel like social game 10 out of 10, strategic awareness gonna knock him down to like a 7 on that one, but
Mhm.
overall did pretty good. Um, let's see. Rick. I feel like Rick really came back a lot. I think we were scared in that first episode. Josh calls him out in the beginning and it was looking a little bit dicey. Like, what's going to happen? How's he going to make it through the rest of this game? And he ends up getting where he does. And I think through the maneuvering with the alliance with Janae and Peter was some of the best work that he did. And then also was one of the people who at least seemed to be the most knowledgeable about what was like about
Yep.
actual locations themselves.
Yep, I agree. I like everything you said. I just think Rick was strategically giving everything we needed to give. And as a Rick truther, I feel like he deserves all the drama moments, right? Like he gave it all. He's fighting with everyone. I enjoyed that. From
Yeah.
literally episode 1 when Josh was like, he's a snake.
He also did a pretty decent job of being entertaining, like having that kind of
Mhm.
different personality. This is not an archetype
Yeah.
that we get all the time. And I think we're kind of used to, on especially Big Brother, I hate to use the term like older man because like Rick's not that old, but like,
Right.
but you know, of kind of not being really connected with anyone else. And so the fact that he was able to build an alliance, I think, was pretty huge
And
for his
so
archetype.
smart to build it with Peter and Janae, who obviously are going to be looking for an alliance,
Yes.
and keeping that a secret. Like, how hard is it for people to get on these shows and just blab everything? So I appreciate, yeah, that they were able to like keep a lot of shit a secret. And again, Jeffrey Dean Morgan like outing Rick to be like, so what is it? Do you just find Biggie a threat, or are you in an alliance? Why?
Yes. Oh, I've got a lot of questions for Rick that we've got to get to
Oh my
about those
god.
interactions. That and having to
Yep.
reveal his lie in the previous episode. We've got to talk about that. Let's see. And then so I think Peter also, we kind of already mentioned a bit about this, but considering how he came in with a little bit of a disadvantage getting to come in late and then kind of being set up as like, you know, already having been on some of these other shows. I think it's
Mhm.
interesting with Peter and Janae coming in as, I know Peter did Traitors, but with the two of them coming in from primarily dating shows, I think it lowered their threat level a little bit compared to if they had brought in someone who was from The Amazing Race, let's say.
I don't know, because I don't think people knew Peter and Janae, or they'll know anyone from The Amazing Race. So I think it's the same.
Okay, if there was someone from The Amazing Race who was going to come on the show, who would you want from The
Oh
Amazing
my
Race to
god,
come on
that's so
Destination X?
hard. Only one person. First of all, there's teams of 2, so that's so
Well, sorry.
crazy. Oh my
Put
god.
Mike White on Destination
Ima
X.
my god, imagine. Oh, I know from The Amazing Race, I mean, it had to be like a little bit of a smarter team, you know. I would love like Will,
Mhm.
and what the heck was Will's partner's name? Not me forgetting.
James? Josh? Oh,
James. Will
James.
and James. Will
Thank
and
you.
James will be really smart, I think,
Yeah.
on the show. My favorite obviously are the Twinnies, but they're not doing the show.
That would be cool. I think it would be interesting to see like how much does it translate from being on a show like The Amazing Race. I mean, being well traveled is important, but I think this one was a little different. Amazing Race, you're not trying to solve clues, you know where you are. You're
You're
just
just
trying to
winning
get around places.
challenges, kind of.
Yeah.
Yep.
So it's interesting. And then
Yeah.
if we
So that, yeah,
had
that's why it's hard. I was like, who's like some like you need folks that are just smarter
right.
to
If
do this.
you
Yeah.
had to give a suggestion to Destination X of like a format change or something they could do in season 2 that would be exciting, what would it be?
I know that's hard. I think I think the biggest thing would be, yeah, like the clues to not be like told to us so early.
Mhm. Let us play
And
along a little more.
yep. And I think like actually letting them kind of do challenges on the ground. Like
Mhm.
Switzerland I think is a great option, where the chalet was like really
Mhm.
nice. We actually got to like pause and look around, right? And look at the, even though we're all joking about Jen and Eva, but that's something like it's in our brains because we actually got to sit there, sit
Yeah.
with the cowbells, right? And like sit with it. So I would like to like stay in that place while they're doing the clue finding.
And I think another thing is having, and this is a positive that I really liked, was so many of the challenges. You know, I keep thinking that it was sort of at the end, but really throughout, a lot of the challenges were these kind of social ramification
Mhm.
challenges, even way back at the chalet in Geneva, where it had to do with like, these are the people who are going to be in danger, who are going to
Yeah.
go to the map room. And based on the order that you came in and stuff, you would have sort of different advantage or disadvantage there. Because so much of it did really depend on the order. We said in the dagger challenge, going last was such an advantage.
Yep.
I do, and same thing with the one that they did on the boat in Monaco. I would say I want there to be, I don't want it to be random what the order is. I want there
Yep.
to be some sort of strategic reason for why the order gets picked to be the way it is as well. But
Or like they could like solve something to get the order, right? Like who, you know,
sure.
like taking a page out of London, right? Like pick one clue and get to somewhere, and then that's how you get the advantage of
Yeah,
picking the order.
exactly. Something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I like that.
Any other thoughts on the finale, Sasha?
I think that's it. This was like really fun, and I
Yeah.
hope like y'all enjoyed it with us.
Yeah, I had a great time. Let us know. Thank you, everyone, for all of your comments on the YouTube
Yes.
videos throughout the season. Really love that. Love feeling like this is something that we can kind of all talk about together. You know, it's really exciting to cover a first show or a first season of a new
Mhm.
show because we're all kind of discovering it at the same time. But like I said, we've already recorded 2 of the exit interviews. All 3 will be coming out after the episode airs. So after
Yep.
this recap airs, you should be able to find those pretty quickly, and definitely check them out. Had some really, really great conversations. I'm sure we'll have a really great conversation with Rick as well. Try to get as many questions answered as we can. Sasha, where can everyone find you?
Yeah, you can find me over on Mess Magnets with Kirsten McKinnis, where we're talking everything pop culture related.
Awesome. And you can find me everywhere at Frail Mary and Trail Mary. Just look them both up. You'll be able to find me on those places. And make sure you're following along with Big Brother 27, because I know we both been talking about that show as well.
Yes.
Awesome. All right.
Thanks, y'all.
Thank you.
This is RHAP. We know reality TV.